In this lesson here, we're going to learn the first of our lead techniques. So they're called the hammer-on and the pull-off, and it's two of the most important lead techniques you'll ever learn. So let's just go through it very carefully here. The hammer-on is literally as it suggests, where you hammer on a finger onto a note without actually picking it. So if we were to just do the first one, we'll pluck the open first string, and what we're going to do is take the first finger and hammer it on. Hear how it still rings. Now I didn't pick it again there, I just hammered it on there. So you have to be quite forceful with your finger to whack it down quite with a considerable amount of force there to keep the note ringing. Otherwise, if you don't hit it hard enough, you'll end up with a bit of a dud note, like that, where it just kills it. So, but if you actually hammer it on, you can keep the string ringing while sounding the next note. This is called legato playing, because you have no sound or no gap between the notes. Whereas if you're picking, you can have a gap between them. With legato playing though, you don't. So that's the hammer on. Let's try a couple of little exercises there. We'll hammer on from the open string to the first fret, and then we'll pick the open string again and hammer on to the second fret. Then we'll pick the open string again and hammer on to the third fret. So we've got a little exercise. That's 3 hammer-ons there. So let's try them on the second string now. So we'll pluck the second string open, hammer on with the first finger. We'll pluck the second string open, hammer on with the second finger, and then the third finger. Let's do it on the third string. So we're doing our hammer-ons there. Let's try the little exercise across all 3 strings there. So that's our exercises for hammer-ons. You can hammer on with the 4th finger as well, and we will be, but for the time being though, just concentrate on the first 3 fingers and trying to get those hammer-ons right there. Naturally, when we're in our scales, like for example, we could be in the pentatonic scale in the key of A minor here, and we could do a hammer-on from this note here to the next note, like that. So we could pick them, but we could also do the hammer-on. So that's what a hammer-on is. The other lead technique we've got is what's called the pull-off. It's the exact opposite of the hammer-on. Whereas with the hammer-on, you were plucking a string and then hammering it on. With the pull-off, you're grabbing the string, you're playing that note first, and then you're pulling it off to the other note. So if we were to try an exercise there from a pull-off, we would go. Now, just like hammer-ons, you had to whack them down quite hard to get the note ringing. With a pull-off, you have to give it quite a yank to get it off. It's quite a hard tug there. Now the one on the second fret, the one on the third fret. So what we're actually doing is taking the note and pulling it down to pull it off there. Quite tricky. So we'll do the ones on the second string. What you'll have to be careful of is that you don't pull it off so hard that you'll end up ringing through the first string as well. Let's try the third string now. So we play the first fret note and then pull it off. Then the second fret note, and then the third fret note. So we end up with a. And that's hammer-ons and pull-offs there. So a hammer-on, you play the open string note and hammer it on. And a pull-off, you take the note first and then pull it off. So work on these really hard. You can try them anywhere you like. You don't have to be in a scale, or you can just do hammer-ons here. Or pull-offs. And start creating interesting exercises and interesting sounds too. Make sure you practice with all the fingers, so pulling off between say the first and the third finger, and also between the first and the 4th finger, or even pulling off through your pentatonic scale in the key of A minor, or hammering on, or you could just as easily do that in E minor as well. So good little exercises there for you. The hammer-on and the pull-off, the most important things about lead guitar that there are. So well worthy of your utmost attention and attention to detail too to get it right. So